Hi everyone, welcome back. In this episode I'm making a bathroom vanity. This is almost the final piece of the new bathroom project. This project starts different than normal. I have cut the wooden boards off camera. This was very similar to the previous video on making drawers. I use Fusion 360 and this little animation you can see how the panels go together. The design of the vanity is actually a set of floating shelves whereon the sink will be placed. I took inspiration from Ben Uyeda from his channel Homemade Mother. He made a kitchen with open shelving and with no cabinet doors. I really like this open and bold design. Not everybody dares to show their innards of the cabinet. The OSB panels were glued, then pinnailed and then screwed together. The OSB is a nice material you can screw in and use a high percentage of recycled wood. The vanity will be attached to the wall with a French cleat. This is plenty strong. I'll be using 5 anchors in a masonry wall. Here I am starting off with oak parquet pieces. The thing with parquet is it's a lot of precisely placed wooden pieces and it's very similar to mosaic tiles. On the perimeter I used pin nails to fixate them, but most of them were just glued in place. The pattern I use is called a half overlap. This gives a visually easy pattern. The top and lower horizontal surfaces were made with smaller pieces and the sides were made with larger and longer pieces. These needed nailing, otherwise the longer piece will bow when the glue cures. The only way of doing such a job is being patient. The pieces need to align, otherwise the parallel lines will not occur. settled, I started sanding. I started with a rough grit, about 450 grit. When gluing, the pieces are not at the same height, so sanding does take a long time. After sanding, I used a filler glue with some sawdust to go over the whole surface. This fills the gaps and the cracks. Sometimes it's needed to be repeated a few times. After that, the final sanding could be done. Starting rough and going up to the finer grits. This will make the surface nice and smooth. If you want, you could take this up to polishing levels. The oak is hard enough to do that. For finishing, I used a high quality floor finish. After curing, this is considerably food safe and very water resistant. I applied a generous coat, and when in the curing process, I removed the excess finish a few times. The color of the oak becomes very mature, not too dark or antique, but a nice neutral one. To facilitate the plumbing, a small number of recesses need to be cut out. This is a vanity in the end, and not just only a visual piece. I use a little trick when using masonry anchors. I put some screws in the panel, let them stick out a bit, and when holding in position, I strike the panel, leaving small indents on the wall. For me, this is precise enough, because when drilling into stone, the drill always wanders a tiny bit. The tolerance here is plus minus 1 or 2 millimeters, about 1/16 of an inch. And after that, the job was done. I'm very happy and proud on this project, and I like the Parquet look on the modern setup. And thanks for watching.